Looks like an ultralight, you're probably,
Wait,
okay.
are you okay? Okay.
I'm hungry.
I'm wrong.
Oh, somebody did ask, I never answered this part of the question, what's involved ownership? What happens when you slap the N numbers on? Basically, I think it's safe to say that when you purchase an N numbered airplane, and I don't think, in fact, I'm pretty sure this doesn't apply if you create your own N numbered airplane. When I purchased mine, the Board of Equalization wants sales tax. They call it use tax. It's like they want sales tax. Whatever it is, 9%, 10, I'm not even sure.
10.
Yep, I bought it out of the state. It's kind of funny, I bought my airplane in Indiana. And I got home and I knew it was probably coming. I started getting postcards in the mail from lawyers in Sacramento. You know what I'm talking? We can help you reduce your tax liability or something. So I go, okay, well, that means they got a hold of the FAA records for this month. And sure enough, the Franchise Tax Board will get you for a one-time sales tax thing. If you paid 5% sales tax in another state when you bought your airplane out of state, if you paid 5% to that state's tax agency, Board of Equalization will get you for the other 5%. As long as you pay 10%, by God, that's what they're concerned about. Other than that, where are we at? San Bernardino County here? Yeah. Okay.
No, Riverside.
Are we Riverside? I'm going to assume every county is the same. Mine's in LA County. Yes, you will get a tax bill once a year for your airplane, just like a house, on the same paper. It has an assessed value. You pay the little school fees and all the stuff. You know, it's kind of a Prop 13 kind of a deal. You'll pay whatever it is, 2% of the value of the plane. They decide the value.
That's a use tax if you buy it at the state.
Yep.
It's called a use tax instead of a.
Yep, that's probably, yeah, same thing though. It's a one-time fee, but yeah. So you'll end up paying property tax to your county every year. That's really about the only ownership increase. I can tell you the story on mine. Here's a good story for you. I'm going to use round numbers just to make it easy. I bought my airplane for $50,000, and paperwork said so. Board of Equalization said, sent me a letter, said, congratulations on the purchase of your airplane. You owe us $5,000 on that $50,000, okay? All right, so I paid that. The county of LA sent me a bill saying, congratulations on the purchase of your airplane. We deem this airplane to be worth $55,000. You owe us tax on that. I called him up. This is a true story. I called him up and said, wait a minute. $5,000, that $5,000 was a tax. You're taxing me on a tax. Isn't this double taxation? She goes, yeah. And she pointed me to, and I can't remember where this is anymore, the examiner's handbook. There's an examiner's handbook, and it does specifically say that use tax is part of the assessed value. Sons of bitches. So, you know, what are you gonna do? Now, in subsequent years, yes, the next year when, you know, they took the $5,000 off, and it's slowly been depreciating every year. So there you go. So on my, I don't know, what do they think my airplane's worth? You know, 50,000, again, I'm 500 a year, whatever it is, and change, so.
I have a Quicksilver 280, built in 1991. It's got experimental on it. There's a plate inside that tells me who built that plane.
Okay.
Is that experimental? But it's overweight and it's got 10 gallons. It's not an ultralight, legally ultralight. Now, we just brought up something else. I picked it up in Oregon. How do they know I own that plane here in California? They're going to tax me in California.
Oh, there's something else that the counties like to do. They send out to every airport manager something, and I believe it's called an FBO report. They basically turn airport managers into little tax spies. Please tell us, give us a list of all N numbers that are based at your airport. So
I don't have
eventually,
an N number.
huh?
I don't have an N number.
Okay.
It's an ultralight.
Yeah, so they, you know, actually, I'll tell you what, this examiner's handbook, and if anybody really wants to see it, I'll go find the link to it, actually says in the state of California, ultralights are subject to property tax too, but nobody has ever, and nobody's ever enforced that. But I've seen that in writing.
Now, because it's
The unspoken line.
not
Yes.
really an ultralight, I have to have a sports pilot's license.
You have to have something, but if it's not N numbered, then it's not N
That's
numbered.
the thing, they're factory, experimental.
Yes.
I'm not.
Well, it's not experimental if it doesn't have current registration. If it doesn't have N numbers on it, it's not registered. I can slap
I've
an
never saw an
experimental,
N number on it.
yeah, I can slap an experimental placard on my airplane too, doesn't mean it's legal.
Yeah,
You know, that's just,
but it has a plaque that says the guy who built it in
sure,
'91.
that's nice. That's
That's nice,
nice.
but
That's like having the VIN number on your car, okay, that's nice,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything until you actually have California license plates on it.
back to the licensing, I must have a sports pilot's license because it's overweight.
At least a sport pilot license, yes.
Yeah.
Private, right, doesn't matter.
Depending how heavy it is, that you say at least it's light.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's overweight, and it's,
Yeah, it no longer ultralight, it's illegal airplane, is the way it is. I'm just being real
now,
with
you
you, you
give
know.
license, instruction?
I do, you know, my airplane, of course, is that big fat overgrown Kiss Fox. So it's not gonna be quite like yours. Now, to give, look, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I no longer give 100% instruction. First of all, I have a job during the week. This is what I do on the weekends to have fun. And I tell somebody who's really wanting to fly, you deserve to fly more than once a week. You stretch it out too long, you're gonna forget half of what you learned between lessons. Jump into it both feet, and that really deserves a flight school that's open 7 days a week. So you can at least go maybe, twice a week. I'm in the same boat as you. I'll give you instruction, but when I'm doing so, like when I do your flight reviews and stuff, I'm not insured. I have insurance, but it's not a commercial policy. And I told my insurance broker this, and so I got, what do you call it, exclusion. So I am not covered when I'm taking money. And I accept that risk, but you can't solo my airplane, because I ain't gonna take that kind of risk. So effectively, I'm not really giving full end-to-end instruction. You know? I'm a weekend instructor. On a good day, if I had hung out a shingle like the old days, and I'm doing a couple 3 hours on a Saturday, couple 3 hours on a Sunday, I don't know. How many hours a year is that? 200 hours. What's commercial insurance gonna cost me? I've gotten quotes from 45 to 6,000 a year. Let's call it 6,000 a year. If I'm giving 200 hours of instruction in a year, that's $30 per hour just to pay for the insurance. I raised my rates by 30 hours? No, that doesn't make sense. I can't play that game. You know, and I can't have my butt hanging out with liability, you know, like that either, because that'll take you down. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So,
As far as training, when I transitioned from an MX to a Phantom, there was nothing really to train in. I went to the local FBO school over in Hemet and took lessons and soloed in a Cessna 150. I was overqualified for that Phantom because when I did get into it, I felt comfortable.
that's good.
So-
That's good. Phantom's a good point. I've flown those in hurricanes and stuff. They're
Yeah, so-
great airplanes. That's what I
That's
say.
what I had to do.
I mean, I get it. You take a guy that's done nothing but Cessnas, you put him in a Quicksilver, he thinks the ailerons actually do something. You know, he's gonna be mistaken. You know, but you can learn to fly, especially if it's in a tractor kind of an airplane. I think you can do a lot. You got a nice Gobosh out here that just aching to be flown for instruction. Just so you know. Is that plane experimental or special? It's probably experimental.
Experimental.
Yeah. Crap. I trained a guy in one.
You're in the high desert,
Yeah.
I took instruction from Paul, who knows Paul,
Early.
what's Paul's last name?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, Paul Curry. But the first one was back in, I think, October, and we couldn't fly